Hello, my name is Peyton, and this is my definition essay. The perfect perfectionist. What is the state of being perfect? How do you define perfect? Does the perfect person really exist? Today's society has utilized the word perfect as having no existing flaws or imperfections. According to the online Merriam-Webster dictionary, perfect is defined as entirely without fault or defect. Realistically, I believe the state of being perfect is displaying minimum mistakes or imperfections. When something or someone is considered perfect is placed in the eye of the people in today's society, the idea of imperfection ceases to exist in all aspects. However, according to Oxford Languages, perfect is defined as having all the required or desirable elements, qualities, or characteristics as good as it is possible to be. As good as it possible to be, revealed imperfections are not totally avoidable or absent in the state of being perfect. For example, social media platforms praise the body of women who have a perfect body, possessing a flat stomach and substantial backside. The body that is praised on social platforms on occasion contains scarring and cellulite, which would be seen as an imperfection in the eyes of many, ruling the state of being perfect is not entirely free of defects. Social media is an extensive part of today's world, so the idea that the perfect body is limited to a flat stomach and substantial backside is desired by women who feel their body is not flawless. The word ideal would best fit having a body type that accommodates these women's desires. The body that women desire will be seen as perfect in their eyes because they believe a flat stomach and substantial backside is perfect to them. They have been brainwashed into thinking that perfect has a look. Consequently, others reject the concept that a perfect body type exists but will argue it has some imperfections. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, perfect is defined as entirely without fault or defect. Therefore, the idea that the body type praised on social platforms is perfect will be inaccurate if it contains faults or imperfections according to dictionary definitions. Additionally, the Holy Bible, Genesis 1-1 verse 25b states, "And God saw that it was good. It was perfect in every way, for God does not make any mistakes." This verse reveals the state of something or someone is perfect in the eyes of God. But the people of today's world seek out imperfections within one because their definition of being perfect doesn't contain any faults or imperfections. People seem to think their imperfections and differences correlate with what they lack in desire. Others tend to define perfect as a state of having no flaws at all, an ideal image. Furthermore, as stated, "You therefore must be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect." King James Version, Matthew 5:48. According to Salvador Dali, he states, "Have no fear of perfection, you'll never reach it." Without a question, I reconcile that the state of being perfect undoubtedly contains minimum flaws and imperfections. The idea that imperfections are inadequate is ill-advised. Imperfections uniquely define you and your natural perfection. For this reason, the state of being perfect is not flawless or of that matter attainable. The state of being perfect is not second-rate. Perfection or the state of being perfect will contain imperfections from all viewpoints. Accepting the theory that the state of being perfect is not entirely free of imperfections, some people confuse perfect with the words ideal and flawless. Imperfections that are camouflaged by ideal characteristics can easily give off the notion that the state of being perfect does not contain any faults. For instance, my mom embellishes the true definition of perfect. The true definition being the state of being perfect will contain imperfections. My mom, being a single parent, strived and still strives to be the perfect mom for me and my older brother while maintaining a stable environment to nurse a perfect life. Being a single parent itself brings battles of its own, from one parent's source of income to one parent handling the responsibilities of two children. My mom filled in the place of a male figure, completing all the tasks that are considered male tasks with flying colors. She handled money sufficiently, changed car oils, installed fans, including wiring, plumbing tasks, and most importantly, completed all these jobs while making sure her two kids never went without the necessities. My mom acknowledged her faults while striving to be a perfect parent, accepting that the state of perfect also means as close to good as it can possibly be. She took care of her children as well as responsibilities that people today would say a woman had no business doing, which shadowed her imperfections. My mom sacrificed her sleep to make sure we had a roof over our head. My mom made sacrifices so gracefully that looking back now as a young child, I didn't know the trials that she dealt. My mom is a true definition of a perfect parent. Charles Baxter says, when all the details fit in perfectly, something is probably wrong with the story. In the case of an individual exhibiting the state of being perfect, one who exhibits and fits the dictionary definition is God. The Bible states explicitly that God is by nature perfect. Matthews. God doesn't make mistakes. The New Testament states he speaks the truth, nothing lacking in him. He makes no mistakes from the beginning when he created heaven and the earth. God harbors no imperfections, and that followers should strive to be like him. Live a life free of sin. God shed his blood on the cross in turn for our lives of sin. The fact that he was perfect illustrated action, knowing that others would exhibit imperfections in a life of sin. Leo Tolstoy stated, if you look for perfection, you'll never be content. The quote is inadequate to the fact that there will always be minor things that cut people or things short from being perfect. Being at peace, knowing that the state of being perfect means minor imperfections. Nevertheless, the state of being perfect is strategically attainable. People today misconstrue perfect as ideal and flawless. The state of being perfect doesn't rule out imperfections completely, but minimizes them so they seem absent. The imperfections are nearly absent but lay in the shadows in the state of perfection. Perfect is defined by good as it possibly can be, containing minimal imperfections.